Hello, 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 ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ugh. Hey, beautiful boss divas. This is Shay, your girl, your love diva, Master Certified Love Strategist, voted top 5 love coach in the entire world. If you're watching this, then that means you're a boss diva, period. That means that you refuse to settle in your love life and you will only allow nothing but the best. That means that you want elite love because not everybody is going to vibrate to watching me live. They're not. Okay. And you have to be able to keep up with my lives because I'm the only one talking about how to trigger a man's biology for him to bond to you for life. Trigger not just anybody, not the Build-A-Bears, man. We don't want any of those. I'm talking about triggering the quality elite men who make multiple 6 and 7 figures and have character, values, and valor. And believe it or not, ma'am, if they aren't unicorns, they do exist. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate you. These men do exist. And if you understand the science of attraction and how to predictably trigger a man to bond to you, ladies, then you won't have to date in the dark and you won't have to just throw it up in the air and figure it out. Okay. You can predictably, no matter your age, your size, the way you look, you can predictably trigger any man you want to bond to you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we get started, like there's always a cadence when I meet with the divahood. I need to see you. I want to love on you. And many of you are new to me. You have never, ever seen me before. You are literally a virgin. Okay. You're a virgin to my lives. And if that's you, if you've never seen me live before, then please drop your name, where you're from, and a heart emoji. Okay, drop your name, where you're from, and a heart emoji so I can give you some love. And if you are returning back to the divahood, then drop your first name and a lipstick emoji, ma'am. Not kiss emoji, not a heart emoji. Don't confuse me, ma'am. All right, follow instructions. Just drop your first name and a lipstick emoji if you are returning back. Ma'am, I will answer your questions. Just let me love you for a second, ma'am. Introduce yourself. You just come in here hot. You just come in here blazing, ma'am. I know you have questions, and actually today is the day that I will answer questions. I will teach you the science on whatever it is your question is. There's a science attached to it. Hey, Doris, welcome back, baby. You didn't want to listen, huh? You gonna follow instructions? That's okay. I love you. Okay. I said lipstick emoji, ma'am. I didn't say lips. I said lipstick, ma'am. Lipstick about. Thank you, Patrice. Hi, Patrice. Ma'am, I don't. You just put your whole where you're from. And you didn't follow. Y'all didn't listen to a damn thing I said. Hey, Rebecca, how are you, baby? I could already tell we're going to have fun because y'all are doing the opposite of what the hell I said to do. Hey, Melissa, how are you doing, baby? Welcome, 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 ladies. Come on in. Have a seat. I'm getting ready to teach you some things that you have never heard of. How can you consistently trigger a man's bonding biology for you? Okay. So you're not playing a guessing game. Is the techniques, is what you're doing in the dating game, is it working? Is it working or is it not? Jay, can you introduce yourself, ma'am? Who are you? Who are you, ma'am? Okay, say hi to me first. All right. Don't you want a man to take you out on a date first before he asks for the draws? Like, I need y'all to, we're going to have a training class. Okay? We're going to have training. Tell me who I'm talking to. Teresa, Philly, welcome, my love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad that you're back. Hey, we have YouTube here, Janelle. Hey, I'm glad you're here. We have Instagram here. We have TikTok here. And we have Facebook in the house. And I'm glad that you are here. Now, this is what I'm going to do today. I did my teaching on Tuesday night. And today I'm going to answer your questions. Okay, your pressing concerns and your pressing questions for 30 minutes. I'm going to answer your questions and help you to attract that elite love. But the first thing I need to do to make sure that we're all in alignment, how many of you here are looking for, okay, you're calling forth, you only want the elite man. And when I say elite man, you want a man who matches you at the level that you're doing life. That means he makes 6 and 7 figures plus, and he's a good man. Okay, he does what he says he's going to do. He's consistent. He's dependable. He's honest, ma'am. All right. He's willing to do the things to make you feel safe with him. And he's a provider. He's a protector. And he's the kind of man that is willing to commit to you. And he's not somebody who's broke. somebody who expects you to pay half or pay all the bills? Like, how many of you are coming here because you prefer elite love? Say I. Okay, let's set the intention. I believe in being intentional. So let's energetically set the intention. Hey, Dawn, are you talking to Dawn? Are you talking to me? Oh, okay, this is Dawn. All right. Well, hey, Christina, how are you doing, love? How many of you want that kind of man? The provider man that's in his masculine energy. He's honest, he's fun, faithful, and he wants forever to love your soul. He's the kind of man that you can build an empire with. He's the kind of man that's going to add value to your world. Okay? He can afford you mentally, emotionally, financially, ma'am. He has to be able to afford you financially. Stop dating broke dudes. That's going to be my motto. That's 2026. Okay? The motto for 2026 is stop dating broke dudes. Matter of fact, put it in the chat so I can have it burnt in your brain cells. Okay? Stop dating broke dudes. Whatever your language is, if you speak Spanish, put it in Spanish. If you speak Greek, put it in Greek, ma'am. If you Arabic, whatever it is, put it in the chat. Stop dating broke dudes. You don't have to. If you knew the science, then you would never date another broke dude again. You would never date another Build-A-Bear again. You would never date another cheater again. You wouldn't do that if you understood the science. How do we stop attracting them? I am so glad that you asked that. How many of you want to know, how do you stop attracting what? The broke dudes or the Build-A-Bears? Which oftentimes they're both, but how I wish they were labeled. They are labeled. They are labeled. I can literally label a man before he opens his mouth. Before he opens his mouth, I can literally label him, and I can teach you how to label him in literally 3 seconds. Matter of fact, my husband and I and our family, we went to Nobu this weekend, and me and my husband, we go on date nights, and we love people watching, and we love watching couples, and we can tell like what guys are like cheaters or liars or narcissists. Like at this point, I taught my husband like how to be able to tell, and now he can predict. Like it's so funny because me and my husband, we were sitting on the same booth, and I didn't even notice the guy. There was this young lady who was on a date with a guy. You can tell that the man had some money. However, what she didn't know is that he's also dealing with a lot of debt. So he makes a lot of money in his job, but he has a lot of debt, and he's also a narcissist. He's a liar. He's cheated on his ex-wife, and, you know, like they were all lovey-dovey. They were all in the booth and stuff, and then my husband was like, it's something about that man. Is he a cheater? Like my husband asked me this. He's like, is he a cheater? Because I'm picking up on cheater vibes. And I was like, not only is he a cheater, he's a narcissist. And my husband's like, and he has anger issues, doesn't he? And I was like, yes, he does. He does have anger issues. And once you know it, ladies, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like you'll be able to pick up on it like that. And as a matter of fact, even better, once you align your love blueprint, those kind of men won't even come in your world. I know. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. He's been listening to me. But ladies, I need you to understand me because I don't think you heard me. You said, well, heck, was it my ex? Possibly, ma'am. It possibly was. Listen to me because I really need you to hear me. The way you trigger a man's bonding biology for you, it means that you are well aware of how to push his bonding buttons in the right order. You're triggering them in the right order. And what I have found is a lot of women are wired to do the opposite. They're wired to trigger his turn off button in a good guy. And if you do not work on the first step first, that means that you have to get you out the way. What do I mean? You got to get you and your stuff out the way. What's your stuff? The love blocks, the fears, the doubts, the belief systems, the behaviors that will literally turn off the biology. And y'all, this is science, okay? And I learned this by accident when I found myself attracting Build-A-Bear after Build-A-Bear after Build-A-Bear. And I had a baby girl, and I wanted her to have better, okay? And so I promised her, mommy was going to figure this love thing out. I promised her that she was going to get to witness healthy love and healthy relationships through me. So in order for me to keep my promise to my daughter, I did a dating experiment where I went on over 100 dates, or I went on about 100 dates in a little over 3 months, and I interviewed over 4,000 men, women, and couples. And I also read hundreds of love, dating, and relationship books. I read anthropology books on love and attraction. I studied the experts. I studied the studies. I graduated pre-med biology. I also did pharmaceutical sales for many years. I love science, everything science. I love it. I can break it down to you. I can break down what stage a couple is in and they're bonding. I can break down where a man is, what is his stage, what is he going through, what is his biology going through, if he is biochemically bonded to a woman or not, whether if they're married or not. I can tell if a man is biochemically bonded. I can tell if a man's going to cheat. Because at this point, it's just patterns. Okay. And once you are aware of the patterns and you can see it over and over again, and you understand, you can see the science that's underneath it. And what I discovered made me very dangerous. Why did it make me dangerous? Because I was able to use all of that knowledge and information to be able to trigger any man I wanted to fall for me in less than 30 days. I perfected it. And every time I wanted somebody, they would fall for me in 30 days. And I knew how to trigger the right buttons that not only would they fall for me, because it's not enough for me. It's not enough for the clients that I help and for my students. It's not enough for you to just trigger a broke Build-A-Bear who can do nothing for you. That's not my motto, okay? The people that's teaching you like love is love and just be with a guy who's going to love you and then y'all will figure it out. Like, if you like it, I love it for you. However, for the women who are following me and who are watching me, they deserve better. Okay? You have way more to lose. Stop dating broke men. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your mindset. It's bad for your life. Stop doing it. Let him get his life together. Let him work out whatever he needs to work out and come talk to you when he can afford you. You can't go up on a Maserati or go to a Bentley dealership and then walk up in there and say, I got a lot of potential. I can potentially pay for this damn car. You can't do that, ma'am. They're going to look at you and they're going to laugh and they're going to say, ma'am, have a great day. Goodbye. Is what they're going to say. When you get the money, when you get the funds, when you can finance this vehicle, then come holler at us. But until then, goodbye. And you're no different, okay, with all the value that you bring to the table. So your baseline standard, ma'am, this is baseline, is that he should be financially successful and he should have character, values, and valor. Because some of y'all think you need to pick one or the other. And then when you're looking at certain trends like black cat, red dog, golden retriever, and all this other stuff, what you need to understand is that the women who are able to get the men who are the golden retriever, they automatically are triggering his biology, is what it is. They're triggering bonding biochemically in their men by accident without even knowing. And what I found is that when a woman rewires her love blueprint and she's able to clear the love blocks, then she also becomes an automatic trigger to triggering their biology. So then now you don't have to remember the rules. You don't have to remember all of the science. You are the trigger. You are the trigger. You literally become his kryptonite. Like he can't, once you learn this, he can't not want you, for one. And when I did my dating experiment, not only did these men who are very wealthy and very successful, not only did they want me, I was proposed to not once or twice. I was proposed to 7 times. But they wanted to give me the world without me asking. Like without me having to drop it low and spread it wide. Without me having to compromise. They were wanting to give me stuff. And I'm talking about give me stuff. Like one man bought me a house because I said I wanted an investment property. So he bought me an investment property in my name and gave it to me. Another one bought me a car in my name and gave it to me. Men were buying me trips to the Opens, the Super Bowl, you name it. They were giving it to me. I even got concert tickets, Jay-Z concert tickets, me and my friend. It was like damn near front row. I'm not a fan of Jay-Z, so yay. But it's just to tell you, and they always wanted to go shopping. They always wanted to take me shopping. And there was like a joke with my friends, like, Shay, like, where did he take you this time? What did he buy you this time? Because it was just automatic. Like, there's a way for you to trigger a man's natural. Can y'all just drop this in the chat so you can understand this? Just put natural. Just drop the word natural. I'm a teacher at heart. It's like in my nature. I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. And I believe in not just teaching a woman her intellectual conscious mind, but also working on her subconscious mind in order for her to have true change. So for the next 10, 15 minutes, then I want to coach you. So put natural. So naturally, I became a natural trigger. Men naturally want to provide. It's in their nature. It's in their genes. The testosterone hormone is built into them to drive them to want to provide and protect, ladies. Their vasopressin, the fact that they can produce it, is what drives them to want to commit, and it also triggers mate garden, where you want to guard and protect and claim what is yours. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, when you really know about this stuff, it's like, it's so fascinating. And then you realize like how you've been doing dating, and you're like, what the hell? What have I been doing? Okay. Like, what have I been doing? So in the beginning, men are they're naturally polyamorous. Naturally. However, when a man bonds, he is naturally monogamous. Naturally. Not forced. Okay. So if you are believing the lies that some of these Build-A-Bears are pushing on this intranet, telling you that men are naturally polyamorous, ma'am, it's a hunk of bull. Okay, from the pits of hell. It's a lie. Biochemically, that's a lie. He's naturally designed to bond to one woman. And it has nothing to do. She said, well, it's because you're so beautiful. First of all, thank you. I appreciate that. Second of all, it has nothing to do with looks. I already told you, no matter your age or size or your looks, and I proved it. Because if you go on my website, and I'm not calling anybody uncute at all, okay? There's different women from different walks, but you can see my wall of testimonials, and there's thousands of them, and you'll see the clients look different, okay? They look different. Not all of them look like Hollywood version of beautiful. And here's the problem, ladies. What you think triggers this man to bond to you long term, it's not what you think. It's not. Matter of fact, we're all my girls that are beautiful, and you have a lot of men give you a lot of attention, and you still struggle with attracting true love. Say I. Like, where are the women, like, you know you're naturally attractive. Come on, don't be shy. Hey, Maya. If we have to ask, we're with the right man, is that our clue? I need the whole question, Vanessa, baby. So, where's all my beautiful ladies? Now, you already know you're very attractive. Now, I've worked with, at this point now, we've helped over 180,000 women. And I've worked with all kinds of women. Matter of fact, one of my most beautiful clients was Miss Columbia. She's the young lady who, do y'all remember when Steve Harvey called the wrong Miss Universe? How many of you remember that? When Steve Harvey called the wrong Miss Universe and then had to take the crown off her head in front of the world and then put it on the one that won? It was so funny. It was not funny. It was kind of sad. Can you imagine your big moment, what you've been dreaming and working hard for, and then that big moment being taken from you like that because of somebody's mistake? Anyway, she was my client, the one who actually won and then had the crown taken from her. Like, absolutely gorgeous. She actually was in a movie with Vin Diesel. Lucky her. She was Vin Diesel's girlfriend in a movie. And, you can imagine like how traumatic that was. So after that happened, then it affected her self-esteem. It affected her feminine energy. Her stuff started coming up. Her love block started coming up. She was losing modeling contracts. It was just not good. So then she started working with me, and she was able to start to clear her love blocks and not only activate her feminine energy, she was able to anchor her feminine energy. But what I saw through her and many of my clients is, as a matter of fact, beautiful women have it harder. Okay. Because women think, women who don't really see themselves as beautiful, which, baby, by the way, you are beautiful. There's a man who thinks you're the cat's meow, by the way. However, what I found is that beautiful, really attractive women have it harder. Can somebody tell me why I'm saying that? Put it in the chat. Why am I saying that beautiful women have it harder? I feel like my lips need to be redder. I was supposed to get, but I've been so busy doing other things. Well, honey, time waits for nobody, honey. And if you really want us to help you attract that husband, then my recommendation is that you make the move. Make your move, babes. Men don't take you seriously. Yes, I think they face so much jealousy even from men. Ego. They get more attention from dusties. Expectation. Because we attract more men. Y'all are kind of a lot of time men think that you are already spoken for. They think we already have it all. Jealousy from other women. All right, so let me just tell you this, okay? Men feel intimidated. All right, so this is the struggle. I'm just going to give you the insight so you can understand, because it's so interesting how people think when people have it one way, then it's really another way. So for a lot of beautiful women, they are insecure because a lot of their value, they've been told since they were young they were beautiful. And they're very critical of their looks because that's the thing that created their identity. So if anything is off, if anything isn't air quotes perfect and something that you really can't control, then it affects their self-esteem. They're constantly being judged by something superficial. The second thing is that they get a lot more men who are driven by sex, who don't have good intention but have great game. So they get more of the players and more of the men that are confident because they don't really care. They don't really care, like whatever the outcome, they don't care about them. So these men know how to trigger in any woman. They know how to trigger a woman's oxytocin so that she starts to bond to him, so that she starts to feel the chemistry in him. And now she's hooked on a man who doesn't have good intentions for her. So I find that pretty women get played literally the hardest, really. They get played the hardest. And the more a woman gets played, then the more her self-esteem takes a hit. And then the more her self-esteem takes a hit, according to science, not Shay, it starts to affect her brain. So it starts to rewire the pathways in her brain for her to start to expect to be mistreated. So then she attracts more of the mistreatment. And the more she attracts the mistreatment, the more it reinforces her belief system, the deeper the grooves in her brain gets, to now her being on this pattern of attracting the same dysfunctional relationship over and over and over again. Do you guys get that? Say aye. If you get what I just dropped, then just say aye. So no, it is not. And as a matter of fact, do you want to know who the highest, like statistically, the highest married group of women are? How many of you know who the highest married group of women are? Did Instagram go? What video, baby? The video says it's paused. I don't know. The highest group of women, she said Indians. Actually, it's Asians. Okay, if we're talking about a race, it's Asians. However, the highest group of women are overweight women in America. Plus size women. You know, how many of you have seen My 100-Pound Life? How many of you have seen that? The show My 100-Pound Life? Now, you've seen 100-Pound Life. Do you want to know what they all have in common? Can somebody tell me what the women in 100-Pound Life, Love Bug, okay, I don't know what happened with my Instagram. Sorry, y'all. We lost Instagram. Let's try this again. How many of you know what they have in common? Ain't none of them single, not one. Exactly. Not nail one. Not one of them. So who was the lady that said that the reason why I had 7 proposals and the men wanted to buy me things and wanted to commit? Like, who was the one that said that it's because I was beautiful? Which, thank you, by the way. But do you see what my point is? It has nothing to do with your looks. The difference between those of you who seem to struggle every time with being able to attract a good man is that you simply don't understand the science of attraction. You don't understand the bonding biology that will trigger an elite man to bond to you. And the higher quality man that you want, then the more you need to be intentional. Okay? Can you luck up? I mean, Cinderella did. I mean, you could do what Cinderella did if you want to get lucky. Or you can just be intentional. Nerds, Asians from poverty, and big girls. Hilarious. Okay. Question: does hormonal imbalances play a part in how we pursue? I have PCOS, high testosterone. First, ma'am, yes, it does, but you shouldn't be pursuing. Just so you know, you shouldn't be doing the pursuing. But when your hormones are off, it affects your ability to be able to attract masculine men and to be able to bond. And it also affects your ability to receive love. When your testosterone's high, also, then it decreases, it increases your cortisol. And cortisol is a stress hormone. So then now you're stressed out and you're in stress energy, which means that you're going to attract a man that's in his stressed out energy. You said everyone is overweight according to BMI. Well, there you go. My full question is, if we have to ask if we're with the right man, is that a clue he may not be the right man or a love block? And here's the thing, Vanessa, it could be either or. And this is what I have found after seeing this so much. Like, just because you are on the fence if a man is your man does not mean that he's not a good man. It doesn't mean that he's not the one for you. What I find is that I've met so many women who they would attract, like Build-A-Bear after Build-A-Bear, and these Build-A-Bears would cheat on them, play them, abuse them, mistreat them, be inconsistent, be non-committal, and she was like madly in love with that Build-A-Bear. And then they break up, and then she meets a nice guy, and this nice guy, he's like easygoing, and he's not dramatic, and he's willing to buy her things, and he's willing to take her out on dates, and he's showing up for her, and he's like fixing things around the house, and he's dependable, and he's consistent. And she's like, he's boring. I don't want him. Because her nervous system has confused chaos with chemistry. So then the guy that's the safe bet is a turnoff. And you're not going to bond with a man who doesn't match your love blueprint. You're just not. You're not going to find him interesting, no matter how great he looks on paper. You're going to sabotage yourself every time, especially if your love blocks drive you to do that. Especially if subconsciously you don't feel worthy. For my amethyst women, oh my God. So it's funny because I did a talk with like a bunch of mental health professionals, psychologists. It was like a lot of people that was in the mental health industry. Okay. And I did a talk with them And I was talking to them about the amethyst woman. And the amethyst woman is a woman that has been sexually violated at some point in her life, oftentimes in childhood, and how these women are severely blocked from being able to attract healthy relationships. And the roundtable of mental health professionals that were there, they were saying, even specialists who work in with sexual traumatic patients were saying that it's impossible for a woman who has experienced sexual trauma to be able to heal. And we teach her how to be able to cope with it. And so I basically was like, absolutely not. I have case study after case study demonstrating how our process and our framework helps a woman to be able to permanently heal and to be able to attract healthy relationships. And so if a woman who, especially in particular, the amethyst woman, I have never met an amethyst woman, and that's the woman that's experienced sexual trauma, who hasn't had intentional intervention attract a healthy relationship. Not one. I haven't met one. I haven't met not one woman. So when the amethysts come to me, and they're coming because they know they can feel that invisible block no matter what they're doing hasn't worked. They've been doing therapy for quite some time and they still keep attracting the same dysfunctional man. Then we put the amethyst through a process to be able to clear. It's like an invisible hole. It's like an energetic, like you can even see it in, how many of you know how to see people's auras? Like, where are the people that are, you have like the spiritual gift of being able, how many of you have the spiritual gifts of you can see people's like aura around them? I'm a daughter of a narcissist. I have a person, but sometimes he criticizes and make me feel unsafe. That's called emotional beast baby, is what it's called. Where's my people who can see it? All right, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. I'm really proud of our master coach. She has the ability to be able to see people's auric field too. I can see people's auric fields. I can see everything, but in particular, if you can see people's auric field, then with an amethyst woman, you can see the injury in her, and it looks like a black spot, like on the right side of like underneath her breast, kind of like over here. You can literally see the black spot in her body, in her energetic and auric field. It like leaves a gaping hole because somebody took something that was so spiritual and energetic when they violated her. And it doesn't matter if she was touched or if it was all the way, it's still leaving a gaping hole. And what happens is that becomes a magnet to men who want to take from the portal or the point of injury in that woman. So that's why she keeps attracting men who keep coming and violating her in some way. They will violate her mentally. They'll violate her emotionally. They'll violate her physically or sexually. They're violating her in some way until she closes up that gaping wound that is in her energetic auric field. Okay. If I went too deep, just let me know. I can come back up and do the superficial thing because I know a lot of people aren't for the whole deep stuff. So let me know. Thank you, Shay. I'm an amethyst with so many fibroids. Now I know why I'm so drawn to you. And thank you, baby. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're watching. So many amethysts deal with women issues and uterus issues. Okay. Many women. And it's so interesting because when a woman has PCOS or fibroids, and when I ask her, like, have you ever experienced any type of sexual trauma? Like, literally 9 times out of 10, she tells me yes. 9 times out of 10. Because she's held the energy of her trauma in her womb. And some women just hold the energy of trauma, like not even if it's sexual trauma. It might be witnessing her mother be abused. It might be like, something else like traumatic that's happened to her. But sexual trauma for many women get held in a woman's womb. Sometimes the sexual trauma is the ex who had sex with you, knowing that he didn't have good intentions for you and he took from you. And some men are vampires. They're spiritual vampires. So, and you got to be careful, ladies. Like, I see it all the time. Like, I remember being somewhere, where were we? I can't remember where me and Love Bug was, but I saw a woman with a man. And, like one of the downfalls of having the spiritual gift of seeing is that you can see. You can see people's stuff and you can see people's intentions. So sometimes you see men who are pedophiles and like you can't, what can you do? Like you can't say anything because how are you supposed to know? And then you can see men who have bad intentions. You can see men who are just evil. And there's some of them that are really just dark, very dark. And you can see the men who are spiritual vampires. And these men, like Diddy, who's very dark and who's a spiritual vampire. And what they do is they will have sex with women, whether they prefer women or not. They will have sex with women so they can enter into a woman's portal and so that they can tap into her energy, because your feminine energy is like ever flowing, right? And when a man knows how to tap into your portal, then he can use because your feminine energy has the power to manifest and create. That's how you're able to create life. And you can give birth to more than just physical life. You can give birth to dreams, and you can give birth to visions, and you can give birth to all kinds of things. So then when a man sees you, and some of you, you don't know how to protect your light. You don't know how to zip up your auric field. So you're just walking outside spiritually naked. And men who have evil intentions, they can see your light and they will gravitate towards you and they will do what they need to do to get you in bed as fast as possible, because they can get you in bed as fast as possible. Then they have another source and they have you hooked. So then they can come back and drink or feed off of you as long as you stay hypnotized. And some of them are very intentional. So then when he's having sex with you, you have to be careful, because I'm really trying my best to say this without also sounding crazy, because I know some of y'all aren't going to get it. Okay. And if I'm going too deep, tell me I'm going too deep. How many of you want me to keep going? Because I hear some of y'all like, well, you need to just pray for discernment. It's not quite that simple. It's not quite that simple. And the reason why is when women, and two, ladies, you got to be careful with, I know you have good intentions, but you have to be careful with some of the things you say, because for an amethyst woman, what happens is she dissociates from her body, especially when the injury has happened and the more traumatic it was for her, she dissociates from her body. And when a woman dissociates from her body, then she dissociates from her feminine energy and her feminine power and her power of her intuition. So then that means that she's not tapped into discernment. She's been disconnected from her ability to be able to sense and discern and to be able to see, right? So then that's why when you're dating blind, you're wondering, why didn't I know this about this man, like that he was so evil? So anyway, all right. So these men will have sex with you, and while they're having sex with you, they're releasing an energetic spell. The best way for me to say it is a spell, right? They're imprinting on you, and they're releasing a spell. So for instance, if he, let me try not to get banned on TikTok. If he has an organism and you're not protected physically, then he's sending his DNA unintentionally into you, and his DNA is already rewiring your DNA, your brain, and everything else, and so many things. I talked about that. But whether if you wear a condom or not, spiritually, he's courting with you. Okay? So he's creating soul ties and soul contracts. And if you, depending on where you're at in ovulation, so if you're during ovulation, then your portal is open. So then you're more open and susceptible of a spiritual cord. However, if you're right at the point where you didn't know your period was getting ready to start, and or you have sex during your period, then what you created is a blood contract. So now you have a blood contract, a blood bond, if you would. You got married. I know this can get deep. So you basically got married. when you had sex with him? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Let me let that sizzle in your spirit for a second. Let me let that marinate. And I'm surface level. I haven't even gone deep. I haven't even gone deep. So, different people say different things. Like, we have people that's like, oh, just do a noni bath. I've had clients, they've tried it and done that. It's not the whole thing, y'all. You got to understand that's physical. Where are my spiritual people? You're not battling with the flesh. You're battling with, put it in the chat. How many of you deal with men constantly just wanting you for sex? How many of you deal with feeling like, I don't know what it is, like men never talk to me. Men don't come up to me. Spirits and principalities? Exactly. So if you sit there and try to do a noni bath to break a spiritual contract, then good luck. Good luck with that. Okay? You said there's lots of people, it would be dark. I went through it. So then this is how you know. This is how you know you're in a soul contract with somebody that you married. So first of all, then you are men are not going to be interested in you at all because you're married already. You're already taken. And men have this holding device in them to know. They know if a woman's available or not. So men aren't going to think about you as a woman that he will consider marrying. You're already married. You're already tied up. You belong to somebody else. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is you're going to feel tired. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel drained. Third thing is you're going to feel like you keep trying and trying and trying, and what you keep doing isn't working. So you're working your business really hard, but your business isn't blowing up. You keep trying to fix your life, and you keep falling, and things, it just seems like, like bad luck is constantly happening to you over and over again. Another sign is that out of nowhere, you'll just start feeling down. You'll start feeling down, and you will feel when he's having sex with other people. That's deep. You will feel when he is in his darkness or doing whatever darkness that he's doing. And you will feel when he is having sex with other people. You being a virgin and still feeling all these things. We're talking about two different things, baby. Okay? Then, because when I'm talking about soul ties and soul contracts have nothing to do with the symptoms. It's just like if I say that if you broke your foot, it's going to hurt. Just because your foot hurts doesn't mean it's broken. Right? So you might be feeling those things, but that's your love blocks that's talking. That's your love blocks that's causing you to feel that way, and that can be healed. Can a soul tie happen if you do it one time and you were drunk? Absolutely. Especially. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Hey, Sharon, how are you? How are you? So then this is the reason why, ladies, it's so important that you're intentional. Like, I'm not here to ruin anybody's party, ma'am. It's your JJ. You do whatever you want with it. You want to drop it low, spread it wide, do whatever you want to do with it. I'm not the JJ police. I'm not here to tell you what it is that you're supposed to do. I just know, based on what so many of my clients have been through, what I have been through, and I simply share the knowledge to hopefully prevent you from the pain and the trauma and the heartache and the struggle that I and many other people have experienced as a result of this. Now, I do know how to help women to close the portal. I do. Matter of fact, when I started talking about how a man is able to rewire a woman's DNA and to spiritually bond to her, and it was so many women like, Shay, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? And I was like, well, I can tell you how to do it, but like there's a whole process in being able to do it, and there's certain kind of meditation. So then I created some meditations with light codes, right? Because I wanted to be able to cut the contracts in your DNA, because there's a way for you to use, because your DNA is made of light, okay? The helix is made of light, you are light, but your DNA is made of light. and you can cut the contracts in your DNA so that you can release it. But that's not enough, okay? You have to clear it mentally. You got to clear it energetically. You got to clear it spiritually. So you have to be able to conquer all three of those. And I created the Feminine Shadow Detox Kit for the women who were like, I don't want to have to keep his energy. I don't want to have to keep these contracts in my body with me. So I created the Feminine Detox and the Soul Tie Breaking Kit. And both of those working together helps a woman to erase the contracts. And I created a meditation that disconnects a woman's soul ties and also rewires her contract, I believe. I wonder where my assistant is so she can tell me which one it is. Hey, gorgeous. How are you? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I even created because one of my students, her sister had the C word. I don't even like to say C word. Her sister had the C word, and then one of my staff members got the C word. And so I was like, since it seems like so many women are coming down with breast C word, let me create a meditation with light codes that help a woman to be able to heal from the C word. And I have that meditation that's in the Her Pocket Coach app if you want to have access to that. If you want to have access to the Shadow Work Detox, then you can go in the app and you can get that if you want it, or the Soul Tie Breaking Bundle. Don't be alarmed, ladies. There's always a solution. I'm simply telling you to be intentional with who you allow in your body, because you might have been able to ooh and ah, ma'am, but there's not. None of y'all is having organisms that great. Some of y'all ain't never really had a real true organism in the first place, okay? And follow the words, because I'm trying not to get blocked on tickety-tockety. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. You can fix it. You can heal it. So I'm already married energetically, apparently. You said I have not for sure. Okay, some of you guys have asked me questions. Go ahead and ask so I can this be done by kissing? No, not really. You don't create soul ties and soul contracts through kissing. Now, you got to be careful, ma'am, who you kissing. And I talked to you guys about that on Monday. You can't just be putting your lips everywhere, because he could be putting his lips everywhere. And you know what I mean? I really am trying to. I try to go to your website, but a warning comes up because your certificate is expired. Clear your cache, ma'am. Like, use a different browser because it used to be expired. And if you try to go to my website back when it was, then it's going to come up with that. Is anybody else getting that warning? And plus, the kit is in the app, the Her Pocket Coach app. So you got to go in the app store, download the Her Pocket Coach, and then you'll be able to access it there. Okay. Why are you crying? No, don't cry. Why are y'all crying? Do you think men don't approach me because they sense I'm energetically married? Absolutely. And it could also be that you're telling them to stay away. I've been single for 5 months and met a man that honors all of my requests to not engage intimately. I don't feel like I am ready, but don't want to lose a good man. Do you have recommendations? If you are feeling afraid that you're going to lose a man because you're not having sex, then baby, you're not dating in your power. That's your love blocks talking. Because hear what I'm saying. When a man has identified you as his wife, and trust me, y'all, they know. They know what. I need y'all to understand, men are not as dumb as they play that they are. They be running circles around y'all, making y'all think that they don't know what they know. And you just be steadily just yapping away, telling him what you prefer and what you want a man to do for you. And you be doing all these think pieces and all this other stuff. Stop wasting your breath. Stop talking so much. Stop giving your power away. Okay? Because he knows. He knows what he's doing when he is not giving you what it is that you want. He knows when he's breaking your heart. He knows. And he also knows when you are his wife. It was built in him. Okay? And I'm not one to push any religion on anybody. I'm very spiritual, by the way. And I have clients that are from all different beliefs, religion, races, walks of life. So I'm not here to do that. But it did say in the Bible that when he finds his wife, it said he. It didn't say she. It said he. And there's a biochemical reason why it says he. When he finds his wife. And ladies, you want it to be that way. Because biochemically, when a man sees you and he knows that you're his wife, you've imprinted on him. And he is producing not only the vasopressin, but he's producing the vasopressin receptors that catch it. He's clearing the testosterone off of the receptors that are blocking him from bonding to people, and that is making him see you as his wife. That means that before he's met you, you were already his wife. That means you're somebody's wife. And he has been spiritually designed to know that you are his wife. So you don't have to worry about your husband being turned off by you because you're not ready to have sex. You don't have to worry about that. Okay? Because your husband, if that's what it takes, if he got to wait, then he will wait. Have you ever seen a man who's really in love with a woman? A man who's really in love with a woman will run through this daggone wall for her. He will do whatever he has to do for her. He will jump in front of her if a bullet was coming towards her. That's his wife. When he has been biochemically bonded. And men who are in love like that, ladies, listen, I've been married 1.357 times. I've been married 1.35768 times. And I'm telling you right now, there's a difference between being married to a man who loves you and who's biochemically bonded to you. There's a difference. How many of you want to know? You said, where's my husband, Shay? What if I'm not good enough? Ma'am, listen. When you book your call with me, I will do a reading and I will tell you if I see your husband, and I will tell you the date and time that's showing up in your timeline on when you can meet him. But you're asking the wrong questions. You're asking the wrong questions. Now, I can tell you the path on how you can meet your husband within the next 6 to 9 months. I can tell you that unequivocally. I do it all day, every day for my clients, but it doesn't matter. I can tell you that. But if you're not taking action, if you're not doing the steps necessary, and that's whether if it's with me or whoever else, like, listen, I'm not for everybody. I know, because my people know my voice. They know I'm the one that's supposed to help them. And I know I'm not meant to help everybody. However, if you know that you have been trying to fix this, and you know that there's something that's blocking you and you can't really put your finger on it, then my recommendation is to do something about it. Don't just sit there, ma'am. Don't just keep dating in the dark and bumping your head up against the wall, because that costs you way more than you think. When you begin to detach, do you think the men can feel the pull? You mean when you're detaching from the man? Because here's the deal. Here's the deal that I can tell you, ladies. How many of you keep attracting men who are emotionally unavailable? I'm going to tell you why. Okay. How many of you keep attracting men who are emotionally unavailable? Say I. That tends to be your thing. You keep Facebook. I love y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all just been sending stars and stuff. Y'all just so loving and giving, and I'm loving it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. He told me I'm his wife, and this next same scripture, he said to me, I think I missed your, they know in 15 minutes what if you're in his future. That's true. They do. They know. He is so mad with me. I know I have to clear my love block, so I keep clearing, and he will come back. Possibly. Sometimes y'all, listen to me. You have more than one soulmate. Ladies, you have more than one soulmate. When I'm doing a reading for somebody, the way I do a reading, and everybody's gift is different. Okay. And I'm not saying everybody's gift is like mine, but I can see people's timeline, and I usually look up to the 3rd timeline. Sometimes y'all husbands isn't even into the 5th timeline. And I've seen the 5th have occurred, maybe like 2 5thers. And the reason why he was on the fifth timeline is because she was so scared, and her association with love and getting married was so traumatic that she didn't have a soulmate on the first, second, third, or fourth timeline. It was on her fifth timeline. When you see somebody whose soulmate is on the fifth timeline, then they have a lot of work to do in order to align with that timeline, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. The saddest cases are when I don't see anything on any timeline. And I had a client where she kept coming to me for 8 years. She didn't want to do the work. I saw him on her second timeline. When I first saw her 8 years later, he wasn't on her timeline at all. And then when she was like, okay, I'm ready now, I'm like, I can't help you, because it's not ethical for me to work with somebody and I don't see what their timeline is. But one of y'all was asking me something. I got sidetracked. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm answering your question, because y'all, I have literally 4 screens going at me at the same time. What if you're giving up? What if you've given up, but life keeps showing signs that perhaps you shouldn't, like this live popping up? Then I suggest you listen, ma'am. Okay, ain't nothing that bad for you to give up on the gift of life, because just when you think you can't take it anymore, then that's where your blessing, that's where God has your blessing waiting for you. But let me finish what I'm saying. All right, so you have multiple soulmates. And this is how, when I'm reading somebody's timeline, I'm looking for where are their soulmates, right? And this is what happens. So for many of you, you might be on this live and you start to feel like, I need to start doing something. Like you start feeling very uncomfortable because you're ready to meet your soulmate. How many of you are there yet? Like it feels like you're constantly thinking about them, like you're looking forward to meeting them, like you're getting, like it's not okay for you to be single anymore. Okay, you're starting to feel the pull towards the soulmate that is coming close. That means what's happening is that your soulmate is on your timeline within 6 to 12 months. Like he's in your timeline that you're supposed to be meeting him. It's coming up, right? And so you start to feel uncomfortable. And the closer you get to the timeline of meeting the next soulmate, then the more uncomfortable that you get, the more unhappy you get with your current circumstances of being single. And then when he passes, then you're like, oh, I'm fine. I don't need love. I don't want a relationship. I don't want it. And you generally don't feel the pull anymore. That's not a good sign, by the way. Okay? It's not a good sign. For some of you, that means that the next soulmate is not due to come for like another 2 years or another 3 years. For some of you, like in your own contract, okay, and what you're spiritually saying that you want and what you've spoken over your life, you've spoken your soulmate out of your timelines. And I've seen that too. That's pretty sad. Some of you don't believe God even intends for you to have a soulmate. You were about to talk about why we keep attracting emotionally unavailable men. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so if you keep attracting emotionally unavailable men, then that means that you are emotionally unavailable. That's what it means. It means you are emotionally unavailable. And the reason why you're emotionally unavailable is for multiple reasons. It's because you don't trust yourself. And you don't trust yourself. So then it prevents you from being able to be vulnerable. Now, you might have been loving, because some of you are looking at me like, no, Shay, I am emotionally available. I love this man a lot. Maybe. But you were still guarded. You were still expecting in some way to be disappointed. You didn't truly let go. And before he came in your world, you were already aligned with somebody who was emotionally unavailable. And why don't I trust myself? Even I don't know. Because if you chose somebody who broke your heart, and this is especially true for a ruby, out of all of the archetypes, okay, ruby, amethyst, diamond, citrine, onyx, out of all of the archetypes, the archetype that is the hardest on herself is the ruby. And many rubies are amethysts, okay? Matter of fact, according to statistics, 50% of a ruby woman are amethyst. That means she's experienced being sexually violated. So, you know, the women that you see that are movers or shakers and they're take charge, make it happen, Miss Independent, I got it going on, she's very accomplished in work. Well, these women oftentimes were violated. Yes, ma'am. And so these make it happen type of women, they usually only get their heart broken once. They get their heart broken once. And once they get their heart broken, they're so hard on themselves that they don't ever give themselves a chance to ever get their heart broken again. They don't trust their own judgment. And that's the worst thing for a Ruby. Even worse, like she's mad at him, but she's more mad at herself. Because she's like, how did I even allow this to happen? And so now she doesn't trust her own judgment. So then she's emotionally unavailable from allowing somebody in her world unless she rewires her love blueprint and she's able to heal those love blocks and be able to know how to predictably attract a man that's going to be a good man. You said, do you think this comes from your own dad disappointing you as a little girl? That's your first heartbreak. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So especially if your dad kept disappointing you and you kept trusting that he would somehow get it together, that he would somehow love you or somehow do right by you, and he didn't, that's called the masculine wound. So then how you date is that you choose men who are in their feminine energy, who aren't leaders, so that you don't have to risk being emotionally vulnerable to him. That's where the emotional unavailability comes from. And then when he doesn't step up as a leader and you have to do everything and he's not there for you the way you're there for everybody else, you resent him for that. Hello? And Coco, you're right. The mother wound is a whole other beast. The whole other beast. And I can talk about that, but let me finish with that. My dad never had time and found another woman who did black magic on us. As a West Indian woman, I understand what you're saying, okay? That doesn't sound strange to me. As a woman who grew up in a West Indian culture, like you saying that your dad was married to a woman who did black magic, that's not strange to me. In my next book, I very well may talk about how when I was a baby, one of my dad's many women that he was dealing with, he had kids with her and everything, how she tried to kidnap me from the hospital, and she actually was able to pick me up, and she started walking out the hospital with me. And then my aunt saw her walking out of the hospital with me and called security, so security was able to stop her. And then when my mom left the hospital, I think a few days later, she was waiting outside and she was trying to like reach through the window to grab me, and it was absolutely crazy. But I get it. I hear you. When a woman has mother wounds, and this is how you can tell when a woman has mother wounds, it's hard for her to trust women. It's hard for her to trust women. She doesn't hear when a woman, especially a woman that's a leader, it's hard for her when she has a woman that's a boss, because she's the type of woman that would say, I don't have many female friends. How many of you know what I'm talking about? How do we get a reading schedule with you, Jill? Jill, go to bookshay.com. Bookshay. Bookshay.com. And if my calendar is booked up, then you can email support at ShayBetter, ShayBetter. Email support at ShayBetter, and then my team will help you. Okay. Oh, thank you. You said you're such a blessing. Keep going, Shay. I will pray for you and your company. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. So if you have a mother wound, the mother wound is hard because for a woman who has a mother wound, she's very critical of herself. It's almost like she self-abuses herself. She rejects herself. And she's disconnected from her feminine energy or her feminine power. So she oftentimes operates in her masculine energy. She can be very feminine looking. However, she's operating in her masculine energy. Many women with feminine, and listen, y'all, you don't have to take this for, anything. Okay. You can dismiss it if you want to. I've been doing this for over 2 decades. I've helped thousands of women. This is just an observation that I have noticed with women who have mother wounds. And for many women who have mother wounds, they felt abandoned by their mother because the mother allowed them to be hurt. Like, let's say their father was abusive, or the mother was married to an abusive man, and then the mother did not step in to help the daughter, or maybe she was sexually abused. And then now the woman feels like my mother allowed it to happen, or she didn't come protect me, or what have you, or her mother was very critical of her, then that's a mother wound. So then the woman ends up driven in her masculine energy. And this is what I find. Usually she cuts her hair. So a lot of women with short haircuts have women wounds, and or she has very masculine features. And I'm telling y'all, like, it is a thing. It's a thing. I've had women come to me, and when they sat down with me, they had very masculine energy, very high masculine energy, and their jawbone reflected masculine energy. Their whole movement, everything. They had a hard time losing weight. They were struggling with losing weight. They kept holding on to like 20, 30, 40 pounds. And then when they go through the transformational process, the weight just drops. Their face becomes softer. They become more feminine. They're softer. They're just more connected with themselves. And then they're able to connect in their relationship. Matter of fact, you can go on my website, ShayYourLoveDiva.com. Go to the testimonials or real results, real story page. And then go to one of my clients. Her name is Tiffany. Okay. Now, Tiffany did a testimonial. Watch her testimonial. I think her before and after picture is on there. And then you can see the before picture of Tiffany. Because when Tiffany sat down with me, Tiffany was highly, highly in her masculine energy. Highly in her masculine energy. Tiffany liked to be in control. And she liked to feel like, if I'm not in control, then whatever it is you want to do is not happening, because I need to be in control in order to feel safe. And when Tiffany got on a call with me, she wasn't used to somebody being like, ma'am, absolutely not, no ma'am. And that's the reason why, like, for my clients that are very successful, who are like VPs and stuff, the reason why they hire me and work with me is because nobody can be real with them. They're used to like a bunch of yes people, because people are afraid of them because they're in that masculine energy and they're afraid of getting the fire from them. But then there's me, okay? And I care much more about a woman getting her breakthrough and her healing and her freedom. So like none of that phases me. So I'm telling her like it is. So for Tiffany, she sat down with me. Tiffany was on her third divorce. Her relationship with her daughter was strained, and she was telling me that she was going to divorce her husband. They had been separated for 3 months. And she said she wanted to divorce her husband because of all kinds of reasons, but not the reasons that mean enough for her to get a divorce. And so I said to her, did you already finalize the divorce? And she's like, no, it finalizes in 2 weeks. And I said, if you divorce him, that would be the biggest mistake that you ever make. I said, stop the divorce and just give me 90 days. Just give me 90 days. And I said, because when I was talking to her, I said, it's not him, it's you, is what I said. I said, it's not him, it's you. It's you, it's your love blocks. I said, if you divorce him, you'll be making the biggest mistake of your life. And then she like broke down crying, and she was like, Shay, just please help me. And she's literally one of my favorite students. She was such a great student. Tiffany came in, Tiffany did the work, because Tiffany was consistent. Okay. Tiffany was committed. She did the work. And the way she softened up, her transformation happened so fast, and it was so deep that her husband and her started dating again. And they started dating on a level that they never dated before. And they started falling back in love with each other. And then in 3 months, I was able to help him to reintegrate, where he moved back into the house. And now they've been, I think that was like 2.5 years ago, and their marriage is better than it's ever been. Her business is making more money than it ever has, because she was able to heal the love blocks that was getting ready to lead to another divorce. And here's the crazy thing about it, what I found. When I work with women, because I don't work with couples anymore. When I work with women who are married, I find that when she does the healing work, if that man is a good man, then he changes. Then he will change for her, and their relationship will go to a whole other level. Like, it's so freaking amazing and powerful how that happened. So her husband started changing. He started showing up for her in a way that he never showed up before. And she started showing up in a way that allowed him to be able to pour into her. And then they were able to have a balanced and healed relationship. I've never worked with a couple that got a divorce. Let me knock on wood. I never worked with a couple and where they got a divorce. However, some of y'all married some ragamuffins that you very definitely need to walk away from. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Somebody else asked me a question, and I know I lost your question up in here somewhere. So just ask me the question again. You said, this man now, hopefully he's my soulmate. Oh. Here's another thing too, ladies. You said, what if you're an amethyst with a mother wound? That's a good question. What's the length of a timeline? Your timeline is like your life path, right? Like it's like, like you have, how do I describe it? You have infinite timelines. Okay. Like if you understand quantum physics, you understand that you live in a multi-dimensional universe and there's multi versions of you living in different timelines and yada, yada, yada. However, I look at the first 5 timelines. Okay. So what if you're an amethyst with a mother wound? Usually amethyst with a mother wound, they are operating highly in their masculine energy because they don't feel safe. Ladies, you got to understand your feminine energy. And for the women who have children, this is especially why it's so important for you to do the healing work, because then your children pay the price. They will assume your wounds. And when you are a woman whose mother is incapable of nurturing you the way you need to, then she has to find a way to feel safe, or he has to find a way to feel safe. So then what happens is she's driven highly in her masculine energy. She forms a protective bubble around her heart, around her womb, around her ability to be able to be vulnerable and allow healthy love. She is now having her love blueprint imprinted for dysfunctional, unhealthy relationships. So for a woman who has a mother wound as an amethyst, and she tends to attract man babies, narcissists, men that are abusive, men that are highly in their feminine energy, is what happens. I hope I answered your question. Is it possible to heal these wounds in soul ties on your own? Of course. It's kind of like every year we give our youngest son, he can pick anywhere in the world that he wants to go, right, for his birthday. And that's what we give him as his birthday. Like, pick anywhere you want to go. So one year he picked that he wanted to go to Dubai. He wanted to see the Burj Khalifa. And he wanted to see it because it's like one of the tallest buildings in the world. My son is like a genius, literally one of the youngest Mensa children in the world. And he like studies different places around the world. And he really wanted to go to the tallest building in the world. And when you go to the Burj, it's the tallest building, and like you can go up to like the 189th floor or something like that, right? And you, if you want to, you can take the steps. Can you imagine walking up 189 floors? How many of you can imagine walking up 189 floors? How many of you want to walk up 189 floors? Say I. I feel this rose energy flowing in my body and feels feminine. Is that feminine energy? It can be. Hello? Did I lose y'all? Follow me for a second. How many of you want to walk up 189 floors? Say I. She said, I'm tired just thinking about it. We have the athletes. Some of y'all want to walk up 189 floors. And if you want to, then you should walk up the 189 floors. Then walk up the 189 floors. Because some people would rather have it hard. Like my daughter, so ever since she was a baby, she was the kind of kid that it wasn't enough to tell her that fire burned. She wanted to stick her hand in the fire. She had to do things the hard way, the Israelite route, as some of the religious people will say. So if you like walking up all that stuff, that's fine. However, not me, not I. I prefer to take the elevator. And when you got into the Burj, you had to buy a ticket, right, to go into different floors. You can buy a ticket to go up to the 117th floor, or you can buy a ticket to go up to the 189th floor, or you can stay on the bottom. On the bottom, there was like a lot of people there. It was like overcrowded. It was hot. It was smelly. It was like people were irritated. And the people that was on the bottom, they had no clue what was going on the top floor. When you got to the 117th floor, it was less crowded, but it was so boring. Like people just sitting around, they was looking out the window, they was just kind of walking around, and then they went back downstairs. However, for us, who was able to go all the way up to the 89th floor, and we didn't know what to expect. So we walked out of the elevator, right? We got there in just a few minutes, riding up the elevator, and then we walked out, and it was like booming, y'all. It was like a club. People was dancing. It was like music playing. There was like champagne, caviar, hors d'oeuvres. It was like nice, right? And people were mingling and laughing, and we was having a great time up on the 89th floor. And the crazy thing about it is the people that were on the bottom, they thought that going to the Burj was not all that it was cracked up to be. They thought that the experience of being in the Burj was the experience that they were experiencing. You know, they were down there with the rats and the roaches and the hotness and being irritated while we were up there on the highest floor, partying and having a good time. Why am I saying all of this? Some of you have been in the dirty trenches of dating Build-A-Bears. You have tried over and over again, frustrated, having men that seemed like they were the one, only for them to end up a disappointment. Men who weren't willing to commit, men who were not consistent, men who you had to pay 50-50 or you had to pay for everything, men that you had to compromise for, men that one way or another, they were just nothing but a disappointment. You even had one of the most beautiful women on the internet, model, she has it going on, and then her husband, who seems to be perfect, seems to be really nice, ends up cheating on her. So you have women that have been experiencing that over and over and over again, and they don't trust that they have a soulmate that is waiting for them on the 189th floor. And some of y'all prefer to take the steps. And you may very well get to the 189th floor if you don't pass out or get too tired or be like, forget this, I want to go back down the steps. You very well might get this. But some of you are like, my time is more valuable than money. I don't have time to be waiting. I don't want to keep bumping my head up against the wall. I don't want to get frustrated. I want to do what it takes in order to heal my bloodline. So let me take the elevator. They're going to book a call. They're going to enroll in a love success journey. They're going to do the work. Or if they're not doing the work with me, they go to whoever it is that they trust. Okay, go to whoever it is that you trust, but stop making excuses and stop just sitting there and stop just tolerating the pain. That's my motto. Whoever you go to, do something. And then when you do something, then what happens is that you change your frequency, you change your imprint, and you naturally become the kind of woman who can trigger a man's bonding biology without trying. You're not wondering like, when are you going to meet your soulmate? You're not wondering like, is me waiting to have sex with him going to turn him off? You're not wondering if you need to prove yourself in order to earn his love. You're not doing any of that stuff. You're moving differently. And the way you're moving is the very trigger that triggers CAP. CAP is what triggers a man to bond to you. Curiosity, anticipation, and polarity. And then when you trigger the CAP, these are the women who have the husbands that when they're married 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, their husbands are still on fire for them. They're still pouring into them. These are the women you can tell that they're happy because you can see the lightness in their face. You really, I can't stress this enough. You don't have to keep struggling and bumping your head up against the wall. Do something, man. Okay? Except tolerate a Build-A-Bear or date broke men. Period. All right. Did I answer your question, ma'am? I hope I answered it. I hope I answered your question. Any other questions that I've missed? It's CAP. CAP. I talked about it on Monday. I'll talk about it next Monday. How do you trigger vasopressin in a man? So if you go to divadocoffee.com, then I have a free training where I teach you how to do that. I teach you what it takes in order to trigger vasopressin in a man, how to biochemically get a man to, and what it is. I'll teach you what it is that's sabotaging you naturally. Okay. And this is things that very successful, high achieving women, you do it all the time, and you do it you don't do it intentionally, but it's what's sabotaging you over and over again. They say statistically, the more educated, the more successful a woman is, the least likely that she would get married. Statistically. So there's certain things that I created to be able to help you to increase your chances of being able to have the love that you deserve to have. So all you have to do is go to divadocoffee.com, ma'am. It's literally free. And when you watch the webinar, then you will be able to get my feminine dating cheat sheet. This is the feminine dating cheat sheet. When you get the feminine dating cheat sheet, then you use it as a tool. Then if you're dating online, okay, which I highly discourage. I discourage for you to date online until you clear your love blocks, man. But again, do whatever it is that's moving your spirit and your soul. All right. So when you're dating online, then you know exactly what questions you're going to ask and what order. You know what are the signs, because some of y'all are doing it wrong. Like I saw this one post where this guy literally like cussed the woman out because he asked her for her number after like one or two sentences, and she was like, no, I want to get to know you more on the app. And he was like, well, I'm asking you out on a date, like how much more do you want from me, and blah blah blah. Like there's certain things that you can ask for it to be a natural conversation and still keep them in the app. And I tell you what the red flags, what the green flags are. And then when you get to the phone, I tell you what to do. And then I tell you like what is the formula that I give to my students, what date to go on for the first, second, and third date in order to trigger the vasopressin. It is Diva, somebody put it down, it's Diva Do Coffee. DivaDoCoffee.com. How many of you got that? Diva Do Coffee. Somebody go to the website and tell me that it's opening. Let me go to the website. And if you want a reading from me, if you want to know where your soulmate is, if you want to know if you're, like how many kids that I'm seeing in your timeline and how to get there and how we can support you in getting there, then go to bookshay.com. Okay. Go to bookshay.com. Oh, look at that. They was able to put it down there. DivaDoCoffee.com. Diva Do Coffee. Thank you. Thank you, Dawn. That's right. You can do hot chocolate. I don't like coffee either, ma'am. I don't. But some of y'all, you just don't value your time. And you expect a man to value you when you don't even value your time. Not every man should get your time just because he asked for it. Why do I attract good men, but they're always broke? Do you want to know the honest answer? You want to know the honest answer, baby? Do I have permission to talk to you like I would a paying client who's coming for change? First of all, ma'am, you don't expect for a man to cover you. You don't expect that. You expect for a man to not do his part, because the men or man that mattered most to you wasn't dependable and he didn't do his part. First of all, the name of your handle is tired. The fact that you've put your handle out there that so many people see, you are literally putting that vibrational frequency out in the universe and attracting that back to you over and over and over again. So you're going to attract tired men. They're going to be tired mentally. they're going to be tired emotionally, and they're going to be tired financially. Second, if you're attracting broke men, then you got to see what part of you is broke too. Broke is it's a mindset. And some of you, the way you look at yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you criticize yourself, the way you treat yourself, the way you treat your time, the way you date is broken. It's literally broken. And if you are vibrating to the frequency of broken, then you're going to attract broke men. Period. Now you got to understand that for a man, it is built in him to be a provider. And when a man is broke, he is going through a broken stage, whether if he is fixing it or not. Now, if you're under 30, this doesn't apply to you, ma'am. Like, you're still young, you're still building your life. If he's in med school, ma'am, sitting there, with 2 pennies rubbing together, and he's working hard and studying, like, you can't be like, I can't date you because you're broke. And Shay said, don't date the broke man. Ma'am, if you don't go sit down somewhere and give your man time to go through school, all right, like, you're young. Y'all are building. But if you're over 30, there is no excuse for you to be dating a broke dude. Period, point blank. My boyfriend is a provider, but nothing else. Then he's nothing else. He's a nothing else. Ma'am, you're not a prostitute. You're not a sex worker. Okay? You're not for sale. If all he has is money, then he's broke in every way that matters. Stop dating broke men. Stop dating men who are broke mentally. Stop dating men who are broke emotionally. If he can only give you money, then ma'am, you are just an object to him. That's what's the difference between that and a prostitute? Am I being too real? Am I doing too much? Tell me. Because I know not everybody can take this Sagittarius truth, but I'm just telling you. My boyfriend is not providing at all. Then why is he your boyfriend? Or maybe he's doing exactly that. He's being your boy friend. He's a boy. Because no grown man. I encourage you to up level to a man. They're more fun, I promise you. Life is so great when you're with a man. And when you're with an elite man, then he won't even feel right. How do you know when he's your soulmate? That's like, how do you know when you're pregnant? You know. Your soul knows. Your soul wakes up. You said this has been a YMM for me. I love it. Like, my students in the community, when they hear something that's a yes man moment, that's like an aha moment, then they say YMM. Y'all, I'm going to start going live in the app. So make sure you activate your membership in the app. Like, all of you who are part of my real community, you should at least be in the app. Like, your whole community. It has a social media channel. It has my light code meditations. I have over 60 meditations that's in there. You have access to courses and training and all kinds of different things. And you have 24 access to my AI coach that I've trained to think like me, to coach like me. Okay? So if you are not able to get into the love success journey that helps you to integrate, that helps you to rewire your subconscious mind and your nervous system, then at the very least, you can start in the Her Packet Coach app. It's super powerful. So then people that are in the community, like when I go live and I do a training, then they say YMM, and I love it because it helps it to stick in their subconscious mind. So Mandy, go ahead with your bad self. Okay, my guy is 35, I'm 50, and he's manly. Excuse me, say what? Excuse me, say what? Ma'am, you do know I have the gift of seeing, right? This can be so exhausting. Oh, God. Something is giving me the feeling that you really don't want to know what I have to say. I'm not insulting you, baby. However, if you're presenting it like you're okay, you're not here just because you're here for a reason, ma'am. Okay? And the fact that he's 35 and you're 60, I'm sure you're a young looking 60, means that that's a problem. All right, bye, ma'am. I understand. Not everybody can handle this truth, ma'am. Be blessed. I hope it works out the way you want it to work out. No, not everybody is here to learn. Everybody is not here to learn. Ladies, you seriously don't have to do that. I can already see the way the story is going to unfold. She said, "Still say it." I'm I'm not because uh, it was for her. It was for her lesson. She might have saved herself a whole lot of time if she would have been willing to listen. Disappointing and heartbreak, but God bless her. God bless this lady. Someone is trying to pursue me. He's 44 and I'm 64. I told him you could be my son, and he could be. It's a no ma'am. It's an absolutely not. It's a hickory dickory dock no ma'am. Okay? It's cloudy with a chance of no ma'am. Don't do it, ma'am. Absolutely not, ma'am. You're dating a baby. There's nothing he can do for you. When a woman dates a man significantly younger than her, that's lonely behavior. That's settling behavior. There's He will drain you eventually. Is what's going to happen. What should be the maximum age gap? Plus or minus 5 years. Now, it's funny. There's criteria and boundaries, and it's funny how y'all messaged me about Venus getting married, and the man is 7 years. Like, but Shay, you said it's plus or minus 5 years. Listen, ma'am. Okay, it's not like he's 17 years younger than her. All right, like it's plus additional 2 more years, and he's got it going on, from my understanding, and he treats her like a queen. Like he has a bunch more going for him. Now, if she was 40 and he was like 29, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I'm so glad you said that. Young men try to use older women. And that's what I see all the time. I see older women getting scammed by younger. Matter of fact, it's a scam. It's a scam. Listen, I've been doing this too long. I've seen too much. I've never seen a woman marry a man that's 10 years plus younger than her, and then eventually she does not feel significantly dissatisfied. I haven't. Not one. I haven't seen one get married, and then eventually she doesn't get frustrated with the fact that he mentally and emotionally is not at her level, and that she doesn't feel like she's raising another child. Not one. Why do women in their 60s and 70s have similar abusive relationship stories as women today? Different generations, same stories. Because, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you don't do the work in order to clear your love blocks, then they will keep showing up in one way or another. It doesn't matter how old you are. My child's father was almost 16 years apart. And then how did that work for you? What if he's 15 years older? No, ma'am. Absolutely not. What about when he's older? It's a no, ma'am. It's a no, ma'am. Men who usually date younger women, they have so many different issues, okay? They have emotional awareness issues. They have responsibility issues. They have controlling issues. Oftentimes they have neurotic and narcissistic tendencies. It's a no. For my students, it's a no. It's a no. I'm talking to a wealthy guy 10 years younger and said he's dating with the intentions of marriage. Do you want my honest feedback or not? I'm going to ask y'all, do you want my honest? Oh my God, look at that. Grown woman right here. That's grown woman behavior. She said, yes, please. Ma'am, you threw in the wealthy part as if that qualifies him. I don't care if he's wealthy. 10 years? No, ma'am. 10 years, that's too big of a gap. That's too big of a gap, baby. You got to think long term. What is this man going to do for you? Emotionally. What is he going to do for you mentally? If you're 40 and he's 30, you're in two different timelines. You're in two different mindsets. It's a no. Because eventually, I promise you, the sex is going to be good in the beginning, okay? You're going to be hot and heavy. Y'all going to be hanging from the chandeliers. But then eventually you're going to be like, oh my God, can you stop playing video games? Or can you stop doing whatever you do for men that's at that age? You're going to be tired of it. He's 46 and you're 56. Usually when you're older, like you can give some grace. Like, oh, ma'am, tell me how many people were you dating when you met him? And then tell me what efforts did you make to make sure your love blocks was cleared before you started dating him? Tell me that, and then I can tell you. Because that matters. How do you feel about reaching out to the man you had a falling out with? Is it chasing? Why are you reaching out to him, baby? For what? For what? What did you want from him? Can we pay only with PayPal or do you accept cards? We accept all forms of payments, my love. To schedule a call with you, what avenue do we use? Cupcake, you can go to bookshay.com. Why do women in their 60s and 70s? Hold on. Do you hear me? Baby, I just want Shahista, I just want to make sure that you are hearing what I'm saying. So I didn't see your answer yet. What's the answer? So he can only be 5 years max. It's not that he can only be. You want a man to be plus or minus. Like for instance, if you look at statistics, and after looking at this for so long and helping so many women, then you see patterns over and over again. You can see when somebody's getting ready to crash into a brick wall. It's kind of like if you are in the medical field and you're a doctor and you see somebody who smokes or vapes all the time, you already can see that that person's going to eventually get lung cancer. Okay? If they've seen it so many times, you already know they do this is what's going to be the outcome. And when I see women who date or marry men who are significantly younger than them and go past 5 years, then for every year over 5, then they're setting themselves up. It's more likely to fail. So everybody's relationship has a success score, right? And every woman, I have her do the love success assessment before they come into our community, because I need to know, like, where are you right now? What's your probability that if you were to get into a relationship today, if that relationship would fail? If your relationship success score is And usually the score is like 70%. That means it's 70% likely to fail, or 90% likely to fail, or it might be 40% likely to fail. But if your success score is above a 20%, then do not pass go. Don't collect $200. Like, clear the stuff first that's messing up your score so you can set yourself up for success. Because what I find is that when a woman whose love success score is super high, that means that she's more likely for it to fail. Then it's very expensive. You're talking about divorce, you're talking about going back and forth, you're talking about emotional impact, you're talking about so many different things. So then let's say that the love success score for a woman who is with a man and he's 5 years younger than her, right? And so now that's the max. And her love success score is already starting off at like 5%. For every year above that, then that's another 5. So then if it's, he's 10 years younger, that's 25%. So if she's already at 20, now she's at 45% likely that it's going to fail. If she's at 60, then it's going to be 85% likely. Does that make sense? Because, I ain't the best math whiz in the world, but I just really want you to understand. So if you, like, for instance, if I tell somebody, like, you want to make sure that you marry somebody where you share the similar spiritual beliefs, because per statistics, when you marry somebody and you have different spiritual beliefs, you're more likely to get a divorce. People who have different political beliefs, you're more likely to get a divorce. People who are financially on different pages, you're more likely to get a divorce. So all of that contributes to the calculation of the probability of the relationship working out. So then if you're setting yourself up for success, then you got to be intentional. For what? Unless this man is amazing. And when I say amazing, like, he's hitting 10s across the scale. Like, he's very kind. He has great character. He's very spiritual. You guys are aligned. That's your best friend. Like, he's doing all the things, and he just happens to be 10 years younger. Then you can afford that discount. Okay. You're already at 100, or you're at 0, because that's no likeliness to fail. And then you can give yourself 20%. That's fine. But if you already are at like a 60%, 70%, then what are you doing, ma'am? What are you doing, ma'am? You're setting yourself up for failure. It's what you're doing. I hope that makes sense. And some of you guys, like, you keep trying to go for the fine, sexy guys that smells good. And some of you don't understand that you don't want to go for the man that's the 10. Okay? He's rich and he looks good. This is the money quotient, and this is the looks quotient. And then you want to be up here with the man that's rich and he's fine and he need to be a 10. No, you want him to be like a 7 or 8 is what you want. The 7 or 8 is the sweet spot. She said rich and hot. She got excited. Okay. Now, you don't want him to be like gremlin uncute. You don't want that, ma'am. I don't care how rich he is. All right. He might be super rich, but he's gremlin uncute. That's not going to work. No, ma'am. If he is broke and he's super fine and he's down here, he's super fine and he's down there, then he's a no ma'am. Okay. However, if he is wealthy and he's like a 7 or 8, then that's the sweet spot. Okay. Because the ones that are like perfect fine, ma'am, and he's rich, then what I found is that there's something going on. Oftentimes, every part of him isn't as fine as his looks. Put it that way, okay? He's not overachieving in other areas of his life. You're going to compromise. You're going to compromise on, how this man is showing up, if he's arrogant or if he's, am I lying? How many of you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Then you're going to compromise. You're going to compromise in some kind of way. He's going to have some type of major character flaw. be super arrogant. He's going to want you pouring into him. He's going to think he's the winner, that he's the prize. He's going to be saying foolishness is what he's going to say. He's going to be publicly embarrassing you or cheating or whatever. I don't know about Michael B. Jordan. Some guys are just good to look at and move on, ma'am. Okay, listen to the old folks. This is what the old folks would say. I'm telling you, old school behavior. Okay, if I was your big auntie, then I would tell you, like, look at him, smell him, and go on about your business, ma'am. You ain't supposed to be in a relationship with everything you think is fine. No, ma'am. Just because he smells good and looks good. Sometimes you need to don't pass go, don't collect $200. It's a no, ma'am. Absolutely not. No, ma'am. But again, if you want to know, like, my gift to you is, if you want to understand how to be able to trigger that vasopressin, what is it blocking you from naturally being able to trigger his biology bonding to you, then I created a free training. It's at divadocoffee.com. Go to divadocoffee.com. Go ahead and sign up for the training. Watch it, ma'am. Just watch it. If you go to it and you don't watch it, then you're not going to get any benefits from it. So go do it and then watch it. For those of you, because there's been quite a bit of you that have been emailing my staff, you have been DMing us, and you've been booking me because we're all about New Year, New Love, and you know I'm going to get you married this year, then make sure that you go to bookshay.com. You got to go through BookShay in order to get on my calendar. And I will take care of you. We will pray in. If you don't like prayer, then don't book, because I'm going to pray in. And then I'm also going to do a spiritual reading. I'm going to look for your soulmate. I'm going to look to see what's going on. What are the blocks? And then what is it going to take to help you to be able to unblock that and attract your husband in the shortest period of time? I love you guys so much. Remember this. If you listen to nothing else that I tell you, then believe and listen to this, baby. You are the prize. Period. Point blank. Take that to the bank. I don't care what anybody's ever said to you. I don't care how anybody's ever treated you. You have always been the prize. He shall find his prize. That means you were already the prize. And when you finally clear your love block so that you can see that and you can reveal that, then now your soulmate will find you and he will claim you as the prize you've always been. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for watching, for liking the videos, for sharing the videos. If you're on Tickety Tockety, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Yes, baby, it's divadocoffee.com. divadocoffee.com. You're welcome, my love. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I am calling forth divine love. From my understanding, there's like a spiritual portal going on towards the end of the month. So if you're trying to manifest love this year, then do something that's going to help you to align with it. I love you, ladies. Have a good night. Night-night. Night-night, ma'am. Ma'am, if the paint was wet when you got up, it's going to be wet when you sit back down. Okay? Just think about that. All right. Love y'all. Bye. Facebook, y'all are so amazing. I love y'all so much. Even though I can't close this thing out. Y'all be the most loving, active group. Uh-oh. Hold on.